I am here today with Frank Powell, our COO. And first off, Frank, I just wanted to set the stage and talk a little bit about big issues going into peak season 2021.
Sure. Good morning, Matt. No question, I think everyone knows e-commerce is booming. Over the last several years, every year over year, we've seen dramatic increases. The past 2 years have been off the charts, and everyone is expecting record volumes again this peak season. But there's some new challenges this year with interruptions to the supply chain and just heavy unbalanced of supply and demand. There's going to be a huge demand and probably not enough supply to go around, enough supply of drivers, enough supply of equipment. So we're doing everything we can to prepare for these unprecedented volumes and help our customers make sure that they get the correct final mile delivery that they're expecting.
So we've come up with 4 ways that we think any company can prepare for peak season 2021. And we tried to make it very, very simple. The first one is secure capacity now. And I'd love for you to speak a little bit on that. What exactly do we mean by securing capacity?
Well, secure capacity, I think we're talking about a couple of things, but we're talking about the ability to complete the deliveries and to handle this exceptional volume that we're going to see this year during the retail peak season, November and December. Securing capacity means we've got to find equipment. We've got to find additional trucks. And of course, we've got to find the additional drivers and along with that, additional warehouse labor. It's been all over the news where the labor market's exceptionally tight. We have been increasing our efforts over the past 12 months to locate, recruit, sign on, and retain a workforce just for the day-to-day activity. And we've really had to up those efforts to bring on additional support, additional vehicles to handle this volume. But fortunately, we've got multiple avenues to go to. We're not using just a single temp service or a single recruiting service. We've historically built up a nice network of suppliers that can support us in these times, along with finding vehicles. I've never in my career seen a time where vehicles were as sparse as they are this season. We've been very fortunate that we've got some great partners out there that have helped us along the way to be prepared. But we've gotten out in front of this in advance. Our normal peak season prep is October, late September, October. We're getting ready for November. We've been planning and prepping and finding equipment and people since the middle of the summer to be ready for the volumes we're expecting this year. Yeah, warehouse space is certainly at a premium. Anywhere in a major metro market, warehouse space is the cost of square footage has shot up over the last 12 months. Again, e-commerce and companies trying to position product closer to mass population. So the cost of warehouse space has gone up and the availability has gone way down. Again, we've tried to be out in front of that and locate some additional space and anticipate what our needs would be so that we would have the right amount of floor space. And of course, there's things we can do with our agent partners to generate more floor space. And we've set up commitments of floor space with our agent partners, along with the usage of drop trailers and some other things that'll help us make sure we can accommodate the volume and flow of parcels we're expecting this year.
So, Frank, one of our other recommendations is utilizing a multi-carrier network. Could you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. We've had a few of our customers come to us last year that were doing primarily using one of the national carriers to do 90% of their delivery activity. And when those national carriers say, we're gonna give you a max limit daily, or this is where we're going to cut you off, this is all we can handle, then that leaves them scrambling for how am I going to get my product to my final mile customer. A carrier like US Pack or other regional carriers is a great way to fill in that gap and actually can give you much more personalized service and sometimes at an even better rate. Internally, we have an agent network of approximately 350 agents that we utilize across the country. And throughout the last 12, 18 months, we've been increasing that network just to give us that additional capacity. We're not ever going to be reliant on a single carrier in one market. We'll always have an alternative availability with another carrier so that we can utilize that carrier, our own trucks, and 2 or 3 agents to make sure we get the product delivered. And I would suggest the same for anyone who's shipping, to have relationships. And if they don't have them now, they should be forming them immediately to make sure they can be successful through this peak season.
And then that leads into our last point, which is people need to diversify who they're working with. And, that might mean that they've worked with the same final mile carrier for years, or they've never considered final mile, just overall diversifying who they work with.
If you're using a single carrier, you're putting all your eggs in one basket, so to speak. And that, in my opinion, has never been the right business plan. We are definitely promoting diversity, and I would even encourage our own customers to make sure that they have alternative carriers to provide service. Should their capacities exceed even what they're predicting, it's always smart to have the right contingencies. And we have multi-layer of contingencies internally and with our agent network and with other partners across the country to make sure that we can handle capacity, even if it exceeds what's already been told us by our customers and what we're expecting this year, which is just phenomenal, off the charts volumes.
So, Frank, this all sounds somewhat gloomy, at least a little bit cautionary. But what are some of the benefits of companies, some of our customers and some of our maybe new potential customers, people who work with the final mile carrier, to alleviate some of these common and even exacerbated peak problems and challenges? If they meet these challenges, what's the benefit to these companies?
Sure. Well, volume is traditionally a good thing. The more product you're pushing through a network, generally, the better that is. Black Friday historically has been the time a lot of retailers turn their books from red to black and look for this time of year to make money. And it is the right time of year to do that, as long as you fully execute. The final mile piece of it is one of the most important pieces, and I would strongly urge people not to discount or consider that just every day or not an important piece of the supply chain. It's critical that final mile is executed correct. This is the face and the piece that your customer is actually going to see and will be the last impression they have. If they order a parcel, an item online, and it's shipped, however it may be shipped, generally doesn't matter to the customer. What matters to them, did it get to them on time? Was it a friendly delivery? Was the package intact? Was it trackable? Were they worried about it, et cetera? So that final mile experience is critical, and that could be to the end customer. That could be, am I getting the product to the store to be on the shelves to be sold in a timely manner? All of that's critical at this time of year and shouldn't be discounted, by anyone that's in the business and needs their product on the shelves or in the end customer's hands. It's extremely critical to have the right partners to make sure you're moving through this new challenges of the supply chain that we're seeing now, and will probably be stressed, across every link of the supply chain this peak season.